In today's brief video, I want to share with you guys two common mistakes that people often make when they attempt to quit smoking weed. These are mistakes that I made countless times throughout the process of my own quitting journey. Mistake number one, making quitting about quitting. Mistake number two, making quitting smoking weed about quitting weed. Now, I'm going to explain each of those mistakes in one moment, but if you wind up enjoying the content in today's video, be sure to check out the video description or the pinned comment for a free 7-step guide on how to quit smoking weed today and learn more about our free and paid program resources. Mistake number one. Don't make quitting about quitting. Now, if you're watching this video, there's a really good chance that you're already making this mistake. I want you to think back that there is a reason why you have chosen to quit smoking weed. You want better health. You want better finances. You want better relationships. You want to grow your business and take it to the next level. You want to become a YouTube influencer, and for some reason, smoking weed is holding you back from that. There's other things right now at this very moment that are far more interesting than learning about quitting smoking weed that would probably be in your best interest to start pursuing. So when I first quit, my life revolved around quitting smoking weed. I was constantly thinking about quitting. What are the withdrawals going to be like? What can I do to do this? How can I make this easier? How can I make this better? I was obsessed with the fact that I was quitting smoking weed, and my life had revolved around quitting. All the content I consumed, all my conversations, right? Maybe you're going to MA groups, maybe you're going to other support groups, and this was no good long term because it's not very exciting. It's not something that one usually becomes very passionate about. In fact, if you're obsessing over quitting, there's a good chance that you're eventually going to fall in a mindset of deprivation and the idea that you are now depriving yourself of something. If you quit smoking weed because you want better finances, or you want to grow your real estate business, or you want to start a YouTube channel, I would much rather that you're watching videos on how to go accomplish the goals that you've set out to accomplish by quitting smoking weed than even watching my videos. I would much rather you watch those things because this is where you're going to start to find a passion. This is where you're going to start to find a purpose. And as we develop in our passion and purpose, we gain momentum naturally in our sobriety and recovery process. So please, put aside the videos about withdrawals, put aside the videos about quitting smoking weed, heck, even take a break from my own content if you have to, and go make your life about something else that doesn't revolve around weed. It's taken up enough of your time. Now, the second pitfall is making quitting smoking weed about weed. The reality is, if you're quitting smoking, chances are you're trying to escape addiction and the side effects of addiction. So, what happens is someone will say, okay, my goal is to quit smoking weed, but then they start drinking more alcohol, or they start popping more Adderall, or they start gambling more, or binging media content just hours on end. And what happens is they'll say, okay, I've quit smoking weed successfully, but now I'm drinking 2 or 3 beers every night. Now I'm gambling 2 to 3 times a week. And the consequences of those other substances wind up being the exact same consequences that the person was experiencing during active weed addiction, or even something worse. So the goal isn't necessarily to quit smoking weed. The goal is to break free from the side effects and consequences of addiction. Addiction, no matter what the substance is, largely looks the same across the board, minus some of the health consequences. Yes, it's rare that we're going to see someone homeless or overdose from cannabis, but the impacts that addiction has on our relationships, on our finances, on our physical health, on our mental health, on our ambition, and on our drive day to day largely look the same. So if I put down weed and I now in place go pick up alcohol, I didn't really change much. Very, very few chances, very few things in my life will probably change for the better. And this is a big mistake that people make. They tend to trade one substance for another substance because they made quitting smoking weed solely about quitting weed. And the goal is to overcome addiction and live a more fulfilling, prosperous life by overcoming addiction. It really has very little to do with the substance itself. It has to do with the side effects of that substance, which in this case today we're talking about addiction. So don't make quitting about quitting. Make quitting about all the things that you're looking to gain back in your life and go pursue those things. Go watch videos about those things. Go take action on those things. And I promise you're going to have a much happier, much more fulfilling recovery process, right? You decided to quit. You're done with weed. Great. Move on. Whatever happens in between that, as far as weed is concerned, it is what it is. Eventually, you're going to feel better. Secondly, don't trade one substance for another substance because you might wind up right back into the pitfalls of addiction that you experienced with cannabis, and we don't want to see that happen either. This isn't really about quitting weed. It's about breaking free of addiction and building a better life for yourself. Now, if you found this content helpful, we do offer paid one-on-one coaching programs. You can find that information in the pinned comment. We also have group coaching for $4.97 a month. We go live once a week, every Wednesday night. And then we have all of our free content. One of my favorite downloads, the 11 pillars for recovery and sobriety. Those are things that I focus on in my life to stay on track and stay on course. All right, guys, I'll see you in one of those downloads or one-on-one coaching or group coaching, whatever suits you best. Bye now.